Good evening, good afternoon, or good morning, depending upon when you're watching the video. Again, it's me, Sean Moore, and I'm here kind of doing the discussion group. And I guess the question, I'll read the question and then I will address it. Here, let me move this camera out of the way so I can. Okay, so the question is, consider a person in your organization that you don't naturally love to work with. Provide a simple empowerment plan on how to coach them into being a more capable leader. Okay, so this is new for me because before I got appointed to Living Spirit, I was a church planter, and I didn't have anyone that I did enjoy working with because I was very particular on who I put in positions of leadership and how we kind of ran things. But this is not the case for Living Spirit, and there are at least two people that I really don't like working with. One of them is kind of a culture issue with this one person who's 90 years old, who pretty much is stuck in their ways, and everyone who works with them says the same thing, but nobody wants to confront them. And when I've asked, well, we should probably confront them together. It's like, well, no, and because I'm still the associate pastor, I've pretty much been like, just let it rest and let it go. That's fine. The other person, same type of a deal, but I think it's more of a, like the podcast said, there is, character, competency, and chemistry. This is definitely a person who struggles with the chemistry. And once again, there's an individual who has an important role that everyone around this person seems to be caught off guard. When I addressed it to the senior pastor, I was told, well, this person is on the spectrum. And when I say spectrum, I mean like autism spectrum. But so when I inquire for more information, I'm told, well, I'll let that person kind of fill you in, and I haven't been filled in by this person. So I would probably most likely pick the second person that's who is supposedly on the spectrum. The first thing I would do is ask the person how they believe they are doing in the current position. Like, how are you actually doing? Then I would get an answer, and then second question would be, how do you believe others see you in that same position? So kind of a different question, but how do you think people actually see you doing that job? I'd also ask, are there any skills that you're lacking that you need, whether they are technical skills, personal skills, doesn't matter what the skill is, are you lacking? So I sent two individuals when I was church planting to an improv class just because they needed to have more personable skills and to think more on the fly. So I said, you know what, this might be good for you. So I sent them there. But I would, how do you think you're doing? That's the first question. How do you think others are doing? What new skills that you think you need? And then number 4, I would say, here's how I'm observing you doing the particular job. Of course, I would compliment them first by saying, hey, here are all the things that I think that you're doing extremely well with. And here are some things that I think might be a struggle for you. Do you see those same things? If I didn't hear those in those first couple of questions. So, yeah. And so again, this is kind of a new thing, working with folks that you do not like, or you have a problem with as a church planter. Very rarely tends to happen in the initial stages because you're picking people that you want to work with, and you're putting people in places where you think they're going to do well, or you don't associate with them. But as the associate pastor who's moving into the senior pastor, there are at least two people who I struggle with, and one of them is just a cultural thing. He's just stuck in his ways. The other person, I don't know what the issue is. But again, there's this issue of this person just kind of rubs everyone the wrong way. And the thing that I'm most amazed about, these two people are in positions of power that force them to interact with other individuals. And there are people that just don't want to work with them or don't want to be on the same team that they're on. So I would literally go about doing it that way. Ask, how do they think they're doing? Ask, how do you think other people are doing? Ask them, do they need any skills or resources to make them better? Then I would then explain how I see things. Then hopefully we would have an answer to better the solution. That's all I got. Take care. Peace.